Maine pilots have recently learned that the town of Dover-Foxcroft is considering closing Charles A.Chase Jr. Memorial Field. The town's reasoning behind the closure being the airfield property can be used by Revision Energy to install a 4-megawatt solar generating plant. We are assisting in organizing pilots and friends to protect the 2,926-foot scenic airfield. Once this memorial field is gone, it is gone forever. Charles A. Chase Jr. along with 2 other individuals formed Pinecrest Field Incorporated in 1958. There were many stated purposes of the corporation, but they all included aviation. The property in and around the current Charles A. Chase Jr. Memorial Field in Dover-Foxcroft was their base of aviation operations. In 1961, Charlie's parents donated the land to the town where the airport currently sits. Charles was their only child. The issue is not about whether solar is a viable option for the town, it's about the location the town has picked and the simple fact that the Chase family donated that property in memoriam as an airport to the people of Dover-Foxcroft, and it should stay as such. There are other suitable locations to site a solar plant that would not close this historic airfield. Acreage exists surrounding the runway. The city could explore shared land use. Decommissioning the airfield is a permanent closure that simply is unnecessary. Open land is available close to a substation near 3-phase power. Solar arrays have been installed on landfill properties. Dover-Foxcroft's landfill is approximately 30 acres and would be an ideal location for solar panels. Recreational airfields do have an economic value to a community. There are pilot organizations such as Maine Flying, Maine Center for Classic Aviation, the Maine Aeronautical Association, and the Recreational Aviation Foundation with willing volunteers that will assist with maintaining this airfield. One of the most compelling arguments against closing this field is closing the field disregards the honor of the Charles A. Chase family, who dedicated land for a public airport in the 1950s. The family supports its continued operation. Knowing the history of Charles A. Chase Jr.'s passing is important to this issue. The following is a first-hand account from a relative. Around Christmas in 1959, parents in town gathered up their kids to take them up to the airstrip to see Santa Claus. That year, Santa decided to come in a J3 Cub. So the kids were playing around waiting for Santa when someone spotted his plane. You can imagine everyone's excitement to see just the plane, let alone one with Santa in it. They waited excitedly for Santa to land so they could greet him. Can't you just picture the kids battling to get in front of the line? The Cub made its way around the pattern. When he was on finals, someone said, "His light went out." Unfortunately, what really happened was the Cub crashed into the trees, killing the pilot. I can't even imagine the horror for those parents and kids that were waiting. The Santa flying that Cub was also known as Charles A. Chase Jr. Maine Flying and the Maine Center for Classic Aviation have organized a fundraising raffle to help raise funds for the airfield. The money raised would be used for conditional improvements needed at the field should the town decide to make a commitment to keep 44 Bravo open. We would also demonstrate to the town of Dover-Foxcroft the level of commitment from the Maine Flying community to keep the memorial field open and how needed improvements to the field would not be a financial burden to the taxpayers. Intended improvements include, but are not limited to, the following: improvements in modernization to the pilot's building, improvements in modernization to the bathroom, picnic tables, fire pit, barbecue. Should the town of Dover-Foxcroft make the mistake of closing the field, an aviation scholarship would be created in the memory of Charles A. Chase Jr. for aviation training in Maine. Should the fundraiser exceed our expectations of our $5,000 goal and we raise funds beyond what is needed for improvements, Maine Center for Classic Aviation will manage funds for a Charles A. Chase Jr. and other yet-to-be-named aviation scholarships to benefit Maine pilots and aspiring pilots training in Maine at Maine flight schools. You can head online to maineflying.com for details on the raffle. There are also other ways to support our efforts to keep the field open. Please consider attending the fly-in on Sunday the 10th at the airfield to show your support for the field. Also, a public meeting is scheduled at 6:30 p.m. Tuesday, November 12th at 48 Morton Avenue. It's the municipal building in Dover-Foxcroft. If you cannot attend the meeting, you are asked to send emails of support to the Board of Selectmen. Please send your comments before Tuesday, November 12th to any of the members of the Board of Selectmen. Thanks again to all of the generous sponsors of the raffle and to those that have made donations for tickets. Please share this video with your friends and family so we can raise awareness on this issue. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Maine Flying.